Andy Burnham is spending his first day working at the new Number 10 North. Temporarily based in an office building in Manchester, Number 10 North is central to the Prime Minister's plan to shift power away from Westminster and put decision-making into the hands of people at a local level, he says. Well, in the last few minutes, he's been speaking to staff inside the new office in Manchester.
Things are just completely coming full circle here for me, and to be here with you all in the heart of Manchester this Friday morning at the end of, a fairly big week is just everything to me, because it's almost exactly 35 years since I left this city as a recently graduated young man. Couldn't find a job in the city. It was in a pretty bad place at that time, it's fair to say. This is as the 80s have turned into the 90s. Yeah, there wasn't much. And that really is an experience that I've never forgotten. My generation of people growing up here, and it's true of places all over the country, to get on in life you had to leave where you were because things weren't here. And the country's always been a little like that, hasn't it? That opportunity has not been evenly spread around the country, and not all places have felt that they're part of the national story. And that is what this government is going to work every single day to change. And that is what Number 10 North is all about. Putting power in every postcode so that people can turn things around for themselves and make changes, just as this great city has done and the other English cities are doing through devolution. Turning things round because of that ability to be able to do more for themselves. And it's also about getting the whole country facing the same way and then pulling in the same direction. That, I think, is what Number 10 North can achieve. It's felt a little at times that local government's just been a bit forgotten and places aren't able to do what they want to do. But then at the sort of city level or the regional level, sometimes it's felt like an argument with people in the centre of government and people having a to and fro all of the time. Just imagine if we were all working together as one team, pulling the same way and making the change happen for people and places. I think we can do that. In fact, I feel we've got to do that. If we want to take Britain from where it is right now, and I think we all have a feeling that it's not fully where it should be right now, if we want to get it back to where it should be, it's got to be about that one team feeling. All of the places around the UK and all of our regions and all of our nations, because Number 10 North is as much for Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland as it is for the regions of England. If we get that feeling, then I think so much is possible that doesn't feel possible right now, and we can really get the energy flowing right around the country. I'm really pleased, and he's hiding, but maybe he should come and join me if he doesn't mind. I'm really pleased that our new Chancellor of the Exchequer is here today. John, are you blending in today, or are you... I know it sounds like it was woe is me, we've had such a hard week, but we were in a pub together yesterday, weren't we? Rating pub snacks, which didn't look like quite hard work. But it's brilliant that you're here, John, and next to John is our first Secretary of State, Louise Haigh. And that, I hope, is sending a message to everybody here who has come into Number 10 North in its early days, that you've got the full support of the government from the very top. Prime Minister, Chancellor, First Secretary of State. That's a very powerful message that we're sending today, that the political commitment is there. This isn't about government working in its old way. It's about the Treasury, Number 10, close together, the heart of government, then driving the same mission from here right out into all parts of the country. And I'm delighted that the Cabinet Secretary is here too today. Antonia, thank you for everything you have done to make today possible, because I also want to get the culture right, the relationship right between politicians and our brilliant civil servants, and then everyone feeling that they're all in the same. We're all in the same game together, and we're all working together, and we're all working hard to support each other. That's what this is all about. So it's a wonderful moment. I need to thank Caroline, Chief Executive, former Chief Executive now of the Greater Manchester Combined Authority, who's done so much to make today possible. But what I already see as I look round and see some of the faces from my old world, it does feel like the boundaries are breaking down a little, and we're sort of coming in together and starting to kind of knit in together, and then really get going and getting the growth going, the good growth going in every part of the country. And I mean it when I say every postcode, everybody. That's what we've got to do. Nowhere forgotten, everywhere feeling heard, everyone with a sense that their place can be more than it is today. High streets lifted around the country, Britain re-industrialised, getting those good jobs back into all of our regions. We've got such an opportunity, everybody, ahead of us. I said I wanted to get Britain believing again. Today is a day where we hopefully can really build that sense, get Britain hoping again. I think we can do that together if we carry on working in this way. So it is such an amazing moment for me. It's everything I believe in, everything I've spent my whole life working towards. You know, a country that really does feel together, feel that all parts are involved and making their contribution. Number 10 North is going to take that up to the next level. Make no mistake, I just want to finish on this point. There'll be many voices out there, I can hear them all already, often London-based, but not exclusively. You know, they like to say, oh, this will just be another, the new levelling up, or another sort of short-lived gimmick. And they'll also, I mean, they are saying, what's it going to cost? But I'm just going to say something now that I'm going to say in the meetings later. You know, what does it cost for everybody to troop down to London every time there's a meeting when you need to make an argument about something? What does that cost? So actually, isn't it better that we have a North Pole that balances the South Pole of our country, where power will always be concentrated, but at least it creates that sense of a more balanced country, and that big things can be done from here. But this is the place where kind of Whitehall meets the rest of the country. I've called it the nerve centre for a rewired Britain. Or if you think about it in terms of the day-to-day kind of challenge around growth, it will be the situation room for growth, where we all get around the table, mayors with all of the team and the Whitehall department, so we get those decisions made more quickly, we break through the logjams, and we get things done. So it is much more profound, I think, than people have worked out so far. It's not just a new office. Through this place, power is going to flow, energy is going to flow, new ideas are going to come through. The regions are going to play back their ambitions here, and the team is then going to say, right, we're behind you, we're going to make them work. That is a different way of running Britain. That is what I'm committed to do as Prime Minister, and I'm so grateful to everybody for making this day happen at the end of my first week. And now let's get to work, everybody. Thanks so much.
New Prime Minister Andy Burnham in number 10 in the north there, speaking to staff. Our political correspondent Lucy McDade joins us from Manchester. Lucy, give us a sense of the atmosphere there, but also, importantly, Andy Burnham just called this where Whitehall meets the rest of the country. He's really pinning his premiership on this new plan, a new way of working. A lot of detractors, though, say it's just a gimmick. How genuine is it, and how much is riding on this for him?
Well, firstly, a lot is riding on it, but on the point about atmosphere, interestingly, actually, as the morning has gone on, more and more people walking through this square in Manchester have stopped, taking photos, genuinely seem quite invested in this idea of number 10 North. Of course, the majority, if not all of the people here, know Andy Burnham from his time as Mayor of Greater Manchester, so want to see what he's going to achieve inside this building behind me. On the point about what is hinging on this, well, an awful lot. Andy Burnham has really made this a flagship part of his premiership. Politicians have spoken a long time about devolution, pushing powers out of Westminster, but Andy Burnham has made it one of his key priorities. It has become an Andy Burnham buzzword, and so number 10 North has come to signify that promise. It was one of his biggest policy announcements before even becoming Prime Minister, number 10 North, and it is more than just a building. Indeed, it is a bit of a nondescript building, isn't it? Actually, partly because of security reasons. At the moment, GCHQ works inside here, so this is seen as a pretty appropriate place to house a Prime Minister who's choosing to work here for at least one day a week, indeed other very senior politicians as well. But what will happen inside this building, the decisions that will be made, will determine the success of an Andy Burnham premiership. He wants decisions to be made here on things like council house building, public transport, greater public control of utilities like water and energy. He wants money to be spent here. So the idea that all of the big decisions in Westminster get made in SW1, in Whitehall, in the Houses of Parliament, and smaller decisions get made outside of Westminster, he wants to scrap that. He wants to change that completely. And now one of the criticisms, is that actually, will this help just people in the north of England? What about people in the southwest, the southeast, the Midlands? Well, he's saying that from here, this base here, they will drive growth in every postcode. That's another key phrase that we are hearing time and time again from Andy Burnham. Other senior people in his cabinet that will be based here throughout the week, throughout the parliamentary year, are the likes of Angela Rayner, somebody who used to be Deputy Prime Minister. She is now Housing Secretary, as well as her, Lucy Powell, who is now Education Secretary, indeed a Manchester MP herself, and Lou Hague, now being named really the most powerful woman in Westminster. She is Andy Burnham's right-hand woman, if you like, who will be targeted, who will be tasked with making a lot of his big decisions. We heard him talking there just as he was opening number 10 North, saying that it might be the best day of his life. Not joking either, I don't think. This is something that clearly he has wanted to do for a long time. Of course, Andy Burnham started his career in Westminster, then came to Manchester to be its mayor, and is now returning to Westminster in the hope that he can kind of roll out his devolution model right across the country. This is actually a temporary site. There is a brownfield development just outside the city that could house hundreds of civil servants, some being hired locally, others being offered relocation packages to move from London. Now, some of the critics include Kemi Badenoch, the Conservative Party leader. You might not be surprised to hear that, who was speaking just yesterday, accusing Andy Burnham of lacking ambition. She thinks that this is all a gimmick. Well, actually, there are some Labour MPs, even in Andy Burnham's own party, that feel a little bit nervous about this. And you probably won't be surprised to know they aren't the ones based in the north of England. Those kind of in the south, again, in the Midlands, elsewhere, worried that they feel that they're far away from Westminster themselves, and Manchester even further away. Will the decisions made here really positively impact them? Well, Andy Burnham says yes, that is the mission behind it. So a lot of kind of intrigued people here today. We haven't seen Andy Burnham yet, kind of security. We've seen a lot of police officers. It's very high security atmosphere here, but he is inside there having this first meeting, hoping to set this off on a really positive foot, hence why he's brought his big cabinet, big beasts up here to show that a lot of importance is being placed on this. But of course, with that comes great scrutiny, and it's the impact of the decisions made here that Andy Burnham will be measured on.